No, we're half a day early.
What happens if this festival is a success? Do we see you again in August?
That we have to talk about. It depends. It's got to be a success for the local people as well as for us.
How much are you going to take their views into consideration?
As much as we did this time. And we had a meeting in Bardney Public in the village hall when people said they wanted us to come. And I think if you check in the village now, you'll find it with a few exceptions. People are pleased to see us here. Okay.
Lovely.
We're running then.
Okay. Mr. Dagg, as head of security, you're in something of a hot seat at the festival, aren't you?
I am, yes, I am. There's an awful lot revolving about this. This is going to be a test case, and we want to make it as adequate as we can.
Security in the past, in other festivals, has been a big headache. How do you plan to make sure this one goes all right?
I don't think in the past that there's been sufficient organisation into an event of this kind. What has impressed me since I've been concerned with this is the amount of hard work and thoroughness and organisation that this company has gone into.
At the Isle of Wight Pot Festival, people did just push down the fence and in they went. How confident are you that you're going to be able to cope with an incident like that?
Pretty confident. I think we're taking the precautions to see that this doesn't happen. By virtue of this constant patrol, there must at some stage be a build-up. And we will spot this build-up, and as soon as we spot it, we'll break it up.
Pop festivals have gained a reputation in the past, a bad reputation in two particular fields, drugs and Hell's Angels. What are you doing about drugs?
Drugs, of course, the people who take drugs, they take drugs long before they come to this festival, so you cannot associate festivals with drug addicts. Certain steps are being taken, the circumstances of which will be reported to me. We are taking steps on drugs, and if we find anybody in a very bad case, they will be handed over to the local police.
What about the Hell's Angels, if they burst in?
This is a matter that's been taken care of by the local police, and it's something that we are liaising with them about.
The local police have put up a reasonable case in the court for not holding the festival. How do you find yourself opposing the police as an ex-policeman? Sorry. Take that one again. Please. Just a question, was it, John?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll ask you the question again.
Right.
Sorry.
The local police have put up a reasonable case against holding the festival here in the court. How do you, as a policeman, take to finding yourself on the opposite side of the fence?
I'm not on the opposite side of the fence with the police at all. The local police, in conjunction with the local authority, opposed it in the first instance. The court has decided that this festival is going on, and the police are doing their job, which they must do. And I must say that I have met one of the senior officers, who was an old colleague of mine, an old friend of mine rather, and I can assure you this, that there is an excellent spirit between us and the police. In fact, it's very friendly. I'm terribly impressed with the way they reacted.
At what circumstance, at what incident would you consider calling them in?
They would be serious incidents. Of course, they would go in if there's any question of public disorder. If it is reported to me as a result of the people in my command that a serious incident has happened, then they will be called in.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. All right?
Lovely. Thanks very much, Mr. Dagg.
See you.
All right, running.
How confident are you that young people will take notice of what you're saying? Isn't it inevitable, though, that with such a huge crowd, there are going to be some youngsters who will cause trouble? And that puts you in a legally dangerous position, doesn't it? How sure are you that all the facilities you're providing are going to be sufficient?
Okay.
But where have the other festivals gone wrong then? How concerned are you about the chances of going to prison? Why at this stage isn't it possible to film inside the arena? It's not because the site isn't in fact ready. No. It's not because the site isn't anywhere near ready and in fact won't be. What happens if the festival is a success? Are we going to see you here again in August?
Running.
How seriously are you going to consider the views of local people before you decide to come back here again? Security at past festivals has been a big headache. How do you plan to make sure that everything's going to go all right this time? One of the main problems at past festivals has been the very large number of people who've got in without paying. How do you plan to make sure this doesn't happen? At the Isle of Wight Pop Festival, people just pushed down the fence and in they went. How confident are you that you could cope with an incident like that? Pop festivals have gained a bad reputation in the past for drugs and because of the Hells Angels. What are you planning to do about drugs? What happens if the Hells Angels burst in? What can you do about them? The local police have put up a case in the court against holding the festival. How do you take, as a former policeman, to finding yourself on the opposite side of the fence? At what sort of incident would you consider calling the police in?
I see something indecent. Right. Yeah, oh, running. Go on then. There you go. A bit, John. Go on, your best brush. The best one. We're running. Sorry, I'm on it. Got it.
Right, we're off. Come in.
Choo!
The main entrance to the Bardney Pop Festival, and it's through these gates where thousands and thousands of youngsters will pour for this weekend's make or break event.
3. 4.
The main entrance to the Bardney Pop Festival, and it's these gates where thousands and thousands of pop fans will pour for this weekend's make or break festival. At present, feverish preparations are going on inside the arena, preparations which we can't show you because all film cameras have been banned by the organisers. Just how many pop fans will turn up is still guesswork, but one local authority has talked about a figure of 180,000. The organisers, who could face jail sentences if things go wrong this time,
5.
the main entrance to the Bardney Pop Festival, and it's through these gates which thousands and thousands of youngsters will pour for this weekend's make or break event. No. The main entrance to the Bardney Pop Festival, and it's through these gates where thousands and thousands of pop fans will pour for this weekend's make or break festival. At present, feverish preparations are still going on inside the arena, preparations which we can't show you because all film cameras have been banned by the organisers.